Guys, I did this video and then I realized I got the price wrong and I probably would have sounded like an idiot. So here is my fix. The price for the best value Tesla, I believe, in history ever, in fact, without question. It's actually $42,500 US. It's also the longest range Tesla 3 or Model Y ever. And it's the cheapest, $42,500, $7,500 tax credit. It now does qualify, meaning it's $35,000 for an unbelievably good vehicle. Guys, being here in America right now, I've been driving the new Tesla Model 3 Highland, but unfortunately, I don't have the newest version that just came out within the last few days. And when I say unfortunately, what I mean is this. Tomorrow, I've got to drive from just north of LA to San Francisco. It's a pretty long drive, right? It's probably about 5 hours of driving. Now, if I had the newest version of the Tesla Model 3 with their different battery pack, I think I could do the trip in a single drive. No stops, no nothing, right? Which would be good because I'm going to go to a 49ers game, my first NFL game ever. Wouldn't that be great? It'll save me some time. We're going to have to get up pretty early to leave tomorrow. Now, the old Tesla Model 3, right? It had a lithium iron phosphate battery. Those battery cells came from CATL in the United States. Tesla has stopped using those batteries for one crucial reason, and it's now it's now selling, in my opinion, the best Tesla in history. I mean, the cheapest version of the Tesla Model 3, which is now cheaper than the previous version that wasn't as good. The cheapest Tesla Model 3 ever is undoubtedly, if you look at the facts, look at the range, it is the best Tesla car ever, period. Now, I'm not talking Tesla Model 3 only. I'm talking Model Y, Model 3, Model anything. This is, I think, the best Tesla for the money. In terms of value for money, it's the best value for money Tesla ever. And I would seriously challenge anyone to if you want to debate me on this, come on the show, debate me on this point. I really don't think you could make an argument saying this isn't the case, this isn't a fact, because it's very, very factual. Hello, my friends. Great to have you with us. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Thanks for tuning in. And also I want to say a big thanks to all of you for supporting the channel. Really appreciate it, especially on Patreon and as YouTube members. That definitely helps me to keep on doing this. And you guys have been so, to be honest, mental health for me in the last year has been weirdly challenging. I mean, considering I love doing this job, I've got a great job I love, but it has been challenging. And you guys have, it made everything so much easier. Now, Tesla, what's this new car? Well, Tesla got rid of the lithium iron phosphate battery because it wasn't qualifying for US tax credits because the battery cells themselves were made by CATL in China. The Model 3 no longer qualified, making it more expensive than a Model Y, basically, assuming you can get the tax credit, which most people can. So considering most people can get the tax credit, that means even though the new Model 3 is more expensive, it's $2,500 more expensive than the previous Model 3. It's actually cheaper because it gets the $7,500 credit. So it's actually, for most people, $5,000 cheaper than what it was before. So what that means is a $45,000 car is $37,500, but you're getting the longest range. This is actually the longest range Tesla you can buy. Not, of course, Model S or Model X, but I'm talking global Teslas, Tesla Model 3s, Tesla Model Ys, longest range Model 3. It has 373 miles of range, but that's not really accurate. It's not accurate at all, in fact, because if you have a look at things, here's a really good way of looking at it. They tested the Model 3 performance last week, Edmunds, and it actually got 1 mile more range in the real world versus what Tesla claims. So Tesla say it has, I believe it's about 300 miles of range. It got 301 or 302. So it got a bit more than what Tesla claims. But in the past, the previous older version of the Model 3, it actually got 50 miles range less in the real world. So now Tesla's claims, EPA claims, are being beaten. The Model 3 long range, that was tested as well at highway speed. It got more range at highway speed than its EPA range. So the truth is that 373 miles it's legitimate In the past, Tesla range 373 miles. You're probably not going to get 373 miles unless you like just driving in a really particular way, really conservatively. You're not going to get it on the freeway, especially here in America where people drive pretty fast. Everyone's driving at 70 miles an hour, some people 80, some even more than that. So you're not going to get that in the real world in the past, but now you do. So basically now you're getting 373 miles of range, longest range Model 3 ever, but that's real legitimate. You might even get more than that based on some of the reports that I've seen. So you're getting the longest range Tesla Model 3 in history at the cheapest price in history. Add those two things together, right? Literally $37,000 for the Tesla Model 3 Highland. And honestly, driving it this week, road noise, even at 75 miles an hour, there's almost none. It's so quiet. The roads here in the US, they're good, but they're not perfect. They're not like Germany. So you would expect that I would be hearing road noise, but there's none. I mean, it is incredibly comfortable car to drive. People complaining about the having to not have the stalks anymore, have the indicators on the steering wheel, have to, push the buttons up and down on the screen to do reverse and park and drive. Well, it's true that I think it was better how it was before, but it's not a big difference. It's not really something that, in my opinion, is a deal breaker or should make that much of a difference for you. So realistically, you're basically getting the Tesla Model 3 long range all-wheel drive, but it's just turned into the rear-wheel drive. So you're just getting one less motor on the front, which makes the vehicle lighter and more efficient, and you can therefore drive even further than ever before with probably the most comfortable EV I've ever sat in. Now, honestly, actually, it is the most comfortable EV I've ever driven. I have driven the Tesla Model 3 Ludicrous as well, the new performance model. The Highland, the base model version, is definitely more comfortable than that. It's obviously got smaller wheels. Suspension is fantastic. Now, even though the performance does have adaptive suspension, the base model is still definitely more comfortable, which you would expect. It's not a performance car, but it feels like a performance car. It's got all the performance you could possibly need. I mean, it does 0 to 100 in 5 seconds. I think it's 4.9 seconds, 0 to 62 miles an hour. Do you need to go faster than that? No. I mean, seriously, it's a fast car. It's got the longest range in the real world of, really probably any affordable car in the world right now you can think of. I mean, this kind of real world range for this price, $35,000 US. Now, I'm talking about the American market here, guys, by the way, because this is, at this point in time, an America-only model. But that said, we have seen this move for Tesla to the Model Y long range rear-wheel drive. They've started making that available in different countries around the world. So there's a good chance that we're going to have access to this Model 3 rear-wheel drive long range in places outside of America, which would be amazing because this thing's epic. I don't understand, Americans, what is going on here? Why are there so few Model 3 Highlands on the road? I have seen so few of them. And you know what I've gotten a lot of people say to me? They're like, that's a good looking car, man. That's in an American accent. I'm sorry, I'm not going to even try and put it on. That's a good looking car. And I'm like, thanks, mate. And they obviously instantly think, what? An Australian here driving a Tesla Model 3 Highland? And then they'll say, oh, Electric Viking, hey, how you going? No, I'm joking. But I did get that twice today, which was kind of cool. A couple of people said hi while I was charging the Tesla Model 3 at a supercharger here in Pismo Beach in California, which was awesome. Anyway, guys, this is an amazing value car. If you live in the United States, I honestly think if you have another vehicle, this is worth the upgrade. Get that extra range. Now, of course, you're probably thinking to yourself, what about practicality? This is incredibly practical. I don't know. I mean, it looks like a small car, right? It does. It does look like a small car, which is one of the cool things about it because it's not a small car, but it looks small. It's actually got so much boot space. It's incredible. It fits all of our luggage in the boot for this trip. How is that possible for a family of 4? And we use the frunk as well. By the way, it does have a frunk, unlike a lot of its EV competition. Thanks for watching.